Hello guys, today we're gonna be doing a complete mualani guide. We're gonna be explaining her kit, talking about her talents, level up, and her artifacts, weapons, teammates, and also her constellations. So, let's get right into it. So now let's talk about her kit. First of all, we're gonna be talking about her normal attack, Cooling Treatment. She's gonna be performing 3 normal attacks that deal hydro damage. And her charge attack is going to be also dealing hydro damage and performing AoE hydro. Her normal attack is pretty useless, its scaling is pretty normal as well, like there is nothing to talk about there. You don't want to actually level up this talent at all. And now let's talk about her elemental skill. Her elemental skill is going to be the main part of her kit and what she revolves around. When mualani uses her elemental skill, she's gonna be riding her surfboard and having increased movement speed. And when she makes a contact with an opponent, she's gonna be marking them as prey. And she's gonna be getting one stack of wave momentum, I think it's called. Yeah, she's gonna be taking 1 stack of wave momentum and mark them as prey. When she gains 3 stacks of wave momentum, her normal attack is going to be enhanced into Surging Bite. When she performs that normal attack, she's gonna be that deals a lot of damage, and for each opponent marked as a prey, she's gonna be dealing damage to them as well. The surfboard is going to be split up and deal damage to all of enemies marked as a prey. And she can actually just only have 5 enemies marked as a prey at once. The damage dealt to the other enemies is going to so she's going to only be dealing 72% of her original damage to the other targets. Her elemental skill duration is going to be 8 to 9 seconds. Talk about this talent, Heat Resistance Freshwater Floater. I don't know why it's called this way, but let's just... When mualani does her enhanced basic attack, she's gonna be summoning a pufferfish that she's gonna be consuming and restoring 20 of her night soul points. And she can only do 2 pufferfishes like that, so with the help of the pufferfish and her soul blessing that's gonna be 60 points, she can actually just perform up to 3 enhanced normal attack in 1 rotation, or 1 skill. The thing that sets mualani above other hydro characters is going to be her skill does not have ICD, or internal cooldown for her reaction. So every time her skill hits is going to be triggering a reaction, and for that reaction is going to be Vaporize. But now I'm gonna be showing you how her skill works against this crazy vine. First of all, I'm gonna be breaking out his shield. First of all, I'm gonna be breaking out the card for him to actually deal attack to him regularly. And right now, he does have Pyro in. I'm gonna be using her skill, and you can see it dealt 160,000 damage to him. You can see that the Vaporize dealt 162,000 damage to the enemy. I'm gonna be using her normal skill without the Vaporize this, you can just see. He does not have any Pyro on him, and by using her skill, it only dealt 52,000 damage. 42,000. You can see by that the Vaporize dealt triple amount the damage. So you want to actually use her in a Vaporize team. We're gonna be talking more about her teams in the team section. Now let's move on to her Elemental Burst. Elemental Burst does hydro damage. This AoE hydro damage based on mualani's max HP. I did not say that earlier, but mualani's skill and ultimate scales of her max HP. As you can see in the screen, this also deals AoE hydro damage and it deals a lot of hydro damage. It's a bomb. And now let's talk about her Natran's greatest guide talent. Whenever a party member triggers a natural burst, she's gonna be gaining 1 stack, it's max 3 stacks, and each stack is going to be allowing her burst to deal 15% more damage, up to 45. You're gonna be asking me how to trigger natural burst damage. Whenever a character is in your party, including herself, the Night Soul Burst is going to be triggered when you into an enemy. The more Nightline characters you have in your party, the less of the cooldown the Night Soul Burst is going to be triggering. So I'm not sure about the numbers right now, but the more characters you have, the more it will trigger. But now let's talk about the talents level ups. You don't want to actually level up her normal attacks because it does no damage and you're not going to be using it. First of all, the main thing you want to level up is the elemental skill, because it's the main damage dealer of your kit. And you want to actually level up to level 9 or 10. And second of all, you want to actually level up her Elemental Burst. Elemental Burst does a lot of damage. And you want to actually level up her Elemental Burst to level 9. level 10 if you love the character. Now let's talk about her artifact. Her artifact is going to be the Obsidian Codex, of course, because it's going to be giving her 50% more damage and 40% more crit rate in the 4th set. And by giving her 40% crit rate is going to be allowing you to build her a lot more easier, because you will not be needing that much crit rate, just crit damage. You want to have an HP or elemental mastery. You want to have an HP or elemental mastery in the sands, and hydro damage or HP in the goblet. Hydro damage is more preferable. And you want to have a crit damage on the circuit, because she's gonna be having 40% more crit rate by herself. And Mulan does have a crit rate ascension stat, so by base she's gonna be having 19.5% crit rate if I remember it correctly. On the substats, you want to focus on crit damage, crit rate, HP percentage, and elemental mastery, because elemental mastery is going to be allowing her vaporize damage to actually be increased. For the energy recharge, you want to actually just leave it at 120%. Energy recharge is going to be fine for her. I'll talk about this in the artifact section, but I'm gonna be included it. You want to have a 60% crit rate, because the artifact is going to be giving her 40% crit rate, and you want to have a crit damage more. But the main thing is going to be her elemental mastery. She wants to have at least 120-150 elemental mastery to deal more damage, because she specializes in vaporize, and vaporize is going to be increased by her elemental mastery. Now let's talk about her weapons. This weapon is going to be her signature weapon, Surf's Up. It's going to be giving her a crit damage and HP percentage, and as well as going to be increasing her normal attack damage. So it's going to be her best weapon. I'm gonna be showing you on screen the other 5-star options you want to actually use in her that are used. But if you don't have any 5-star option, the Witch set is a great option, because it's giving her 55% more crit damage, and 2 of the 3 passive she's gonna be benefiting from. The only thing she's not gonna be using is the attack percentage, because she scales off HP. This weapon is going to be giving her a HP percentage, and she benefits from HP. If you don't have this weapon, the Mappa Mora is going to be perfect for her, because it's one of the best free-to-play options for her, because it's going to be giving her elemental mastery that she benefits from, and it's going to be giving her 32% elemental damage bonus at R5. And if you have just started playing the game, this weapon, the Magic Guide, is somewhat good in her, because it's going to be giving her elemental mastery, and R5 is going to be giving her 24% hydro damage. And for the walls out there, I'm gonna be talking about her constellation and what are the best constellations she does have. So her constellation 1 is going to be allowing her first hit of her skill, of every skill, is to deal 66% more damage, or have 66% more scaling of her max HP. So it's going to be dealing a lot more damage her first attack. Her second constellation is Mualani going all out. Her second constellation is going to be allowing her gameplay to be a lot more smoother, and she's going to be dealing a lot more damage, because if you activate her second constellation, when Mualani uses her skill, she's going to be taking 2 stacks of her wave breaker momentum. So by contacting with one opponent once, she's going to be using her enhanced basic attack, and whenever you consume 2 buffer fish and 1 skill, she's gonna be gaining 12 natural points. So that's going to be allowing you to deal 4 enhanced basic attack in 1 instance of skill. And her third constellation and 5 is going to be increasing her elemental skill and elemental burst respectively. And her C4 is going to be allowing her to regenerate 8 energy whenever she consumes a puffer fish, and is going to be allowing her burst to deal 75% more damage. And her C6 is going to be allowing her C1 to be used in every single enhanced basic attack, not just the first one. So an additional 66% of her max HP as damage. So it's going to be every single attack is going to be a bomb. Right now let's talk about her team section. This is one of her premium team. Is going to be Mualani, Mavuka, Shilonin, and Farina. I don't have Farina, so I'm using Kazuha. Kazuha works because it's going to give you 40% more hydro resistance shred, more hydro shred. And if you are using this team, you're going to be using her normal attack first to actually apply hydro to the enemy. Then you're going to be moving on to Shilonin to trigger her skill and shred the defense of the opponent. Then you're going to be using to Kazuha. Kazuha, by using Shilonin fast, is not going to be taking over the hydro application from the enemy, so you can actually use Kazuha to shred the hydro defense of the enemy. Boka is going to be dealing pyro damage to the enemies outfit to have Mulan Deer vaporize. You can actually just use this free-to-play team. And instead of Shilani, you're gonna be using Kachina for the defense shred of for the damage bonus of the artifact set. This set, if you don't know it. This set. And instead of Kazuha, you're gonna be using Sucrose. And instead of Mavuka, you're gonna be using Xinglan because Xinglan is going to be offering pyro damage off field. This is one of our best free-to-play teams. If you have the Traveler, what it is? If you have the Pyro Traveler leveled up, you're gonna be using him because it's going to be giving more damage to Mualani. Because of her concentration, it's going to be giving her more damage to Mualani, and he's going to be a great user of the Cinder City artifact set. That's gonna be giving her more damage. But if you have Shilani, you're gonna be using Shilani. If you have Furina, Furina is going to be one of her best teammates because it will trigger the elemental resistance of the increased max HP by 25% of the Hydro, and she's going to be giving her more elemental damage bonus. If you have Escaffier, you can actually use this team that's going to be a freeze team. You want to have Furina instead of Mona, but I don't have Furina, so I'm going to be using Mona. And for this team, Escaffier is going to be shredding the defense by 55%, and Sitlai is going to be shredding the defense by 20%. Mona is going to be in the 5 honest conduct to actually give more energy to the teammates. This is her team. You can actually just, if you don't have Shilani, you can actually just use Kachina or the Fire Trailblazer. If you don't have Mavuka, you can actually just use Xinglan. Xinglan is going to be a free-to-play option for everyone. And if you don't have Kazuha, you can actually just use Jean and or Sucrose, but if you don't want to actually use any of them, you can actually just use a shielder like Jogri. It works fine. And by using a shielder with Shilani, you can actually just trigger the Geo damage, the Geo resistance that's going to be giving her more damage to Mualani. And that's it for the guide. If you watched this far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in another video. Bye.